All right, we are back talking about the bond referendum that's on the ballot for the primary election, the Guilford County Schools bond. And we are now taking your text questions to our experts here. All right, the first question is, how did the county decide that $1.7 billion was a necessary figure?
So that's a great question. As I mentioned earlier, in 2019, we had a jointly funded facilities condition assessment that had staff going into every one of our buildings to assess the condition of each one of those facilities. And that report told us that we had more than $800 million in deferred maintenance alone. So from there we built our facilities master plan that totaled the $2 billion.
And let me piggyback on that if I can, Tandra. In 2019, like Angie said, we did the study. But in 2020, the county commissioners only allocated $300 million of the study's request of $2 billion. The study said we needed $2 billion to address the problems that we had within our schools. In 2020, we only allocated $300 million. So this year, we're trying to go ahead and do what the study, we paid $900,000 jointly for that study. We don't want to just sit on the shelf and gather dust. So we want to exercise everything in that study by doing what the study says, by providing the $2 billion. The $300 million and the $1.7 billion will take care of that study's, all the study's recommendations.
I understand. Okay. This next question, I believe, is going to be for Paul and Deborah. This person says, how does the bond impact people if they don't have any school-age children?
Well, I would start by saying that's a real misnomer. No one in this county is going to be unaffected by this. There's such a correlation between good, strong education and a good, strong workforce. And that's something that we've got to improve if we want to see our cities and our county grow. But more important, I think a lot of people need to start thinking about the greater good. What are we here for? I wish everybody that's listening could stick their head into one of these schools and see where these folks are working. Skip mentioned it earlier. There are situations that just aren't right here. You want teachers and administrators to be professional. You want our kids to respond well, but it's hard to do that in the environment they're working in right now.
I agree with Paul. I think that, when you think about Guilford County, we want there to be economic opportunity for everyone, and education really is that means that helps people to have a bright future, to have choices about their life. And if we're not creating the workforce, if you will, for our local industry and the employers who are going to be locating here, then, at some point, if they don't have the workers they need, they're going to look elsewhere. And we don't want to go backwards. That's a race to the bottom. And so it matters to everyone that we have a vibrant economy here in Guilford County.
Mm-hmm. Skip, I believe this question.
My friend Nita Cobain likes to say, sometimes you plant trees whose shade you may not personally enjoy. That's one of the things we're looking at here. This is a pay me now or pay me later deal. Mm-hmm.
Skip, I think this question is for you. They say, does the county have a backup plan if the sales tax doesn't pass?
Yes, we do. We just had the reevaluation that took place this year. We want to give some of that money back to the taxpayers. The quarter cent sales tax will generate approximately $18 to $22 million a year. We want to decrease the property tax rate by that amount. About 25 to 30% of our sales tax is generated from people outside of Guilford County. Why not let them help pay for our schools? So if the sales tax don't pass, we won't be able to get that 3 cents tax decrease to the property owners. We would just have to take the reassessment funds that we have for the reevaluation that we did this year and apply that towards the debt. We would have to come up with about $52 million a year in order to pay for this debt over the 20-year period. And we want to start that this coming year by putting that money aside. So yes, we will have the funds if the quarter cent sales tax, but it's in the best interest of our homeowners and taxpayers to help pass the quarter cent sales tax. so that you can get a 3 cents tax reduction in your tax rate on your home.
Okay, so to clarify, if it passes, property owners will benefit in that way, that they will see their property taxes go down. All right, quickly, this person says, how many schools will benefit from the bond, Angie?
So we have 34 new construction schools that are going to have new construction, full renovation or rebuilds, and then every school is going to be touched with upgraded technology and security, as well as we're going to be doing some roof repairs, some HVAC replacements, and plumbing system upgrades. So every school will receive something.
All right, and let me remind you, so early voting ends on Saturday. You can early vote tomorrow and Friday, and early voting ends on Saturday. Primary election day is May the 17th. Everyone's going to the polls on the 17th for the primary, and Guilford County voters will see the bond and that fraction of a penny sales tax as well. If you missed any of this, you can go to the 2 Wants to Know section.